Hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. And I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you so much to my wonderful, beautiful moderators for all that you do and holding down the comment section. Would not and could not do this without you. Today, we're going to be talking about Black Friday boycott was an epic fail because Americans love a good sale. Of course, we're going to get into all of that. Of course, you also know that we are right off of, when I say we, I mean, y'all don't celebrate, but Thanksgiving. And of course, we know with that comes all these holiday sales because Christmas is, especially this year, is exactly a month away. So, of course, corporations want to get into the black. That's partially why it's called Black Friday, because they want to potentially come out of the red if they have been that throughout the year, like Target, right? So they put on these sales the day after Thanksgiving and say, hey, come on, give us all your money. But, of course, there was a boycott that was called nationwide, and doesn't seem like it did that well. So, of course, we'll get into all of that. Let's see who's on here before I give it to Donovan. African Native, how you doing? One who cares. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Sagittarius Goddess, what's going on with you? Kevin, how are you? And Clifford, hope you're having a beautiful day. Vovo, what's going on with you? And Sister Cynthia Haynes, what's going on? And Gloria, hope you're having a beautiful day. Sister Shirley, Erica, how you doing? And King Shaw, I'm getting to all y'all comments as soon as I can. Tahada, how you doing? Tahida, how you doing? Says, I'm here. Black Friday was dry like, Thunder, how you doing? I'm so happy to see you. And Crump, what's going on with you? So, Donovan, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's still cold here in Mo Valley. A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, very cold. It's cold. We're in the valley. The cold air comes down. It is what it is. But it's great. California living is great. Everybody's broke. So here in California, there wasn't that many people shopping at the stores. Walmart was open where I volunteered. There wasn't a lot of traffic. Target wasn't a lot of traffic. I mean, Winco was pretty packed, and people got to eat. But outside of that, people ain't got no money. People are really learning what is going on. And I don't know about you guys, but Thanksgiving, all around my family's Thanksgiving table, we were talking about how to save money, things to do to save money. So that's what we've been doing. So, but welcome you guys to the Demetra K show. It's 3:00 here, which means, it's 3:09 now, but which means it's the last day of November. And if it's 3:00 here, that means it's Demetra K time. Thank you guys for sharing with us and sitting with us, and also helping educate us and everybody else, because as you guys know, you are the co-host. But do us a favor to keep these shows going, these conversations happening. There's a way that you can donate. You can do it Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, money order, however you guys want to do it. Cash. Buy Demetra a coffee. She likes a little Java, a little Joe every now and then, and sometimes maybe a tea. Demetra's into the tea stuff, and we appreciate anything you guys do donate, because it does motivate the content creator to keep these great conversations going. Also, do not forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel, which you can get on Google Play, Apple Store. And here's the great thing. I was listening to Brother Phil Scott last night, and guess what he's not going to do? He is not going to raise the African Diaspora News Channel prices for now, because he knows everybody is financially crunched. And he said that would hurt his demographics. Even if he went up $3, he said that might be a difference to a lot of people who want the education and the knowledge. So when we talk about Black apps and things that is Black owned, the African Diaspora News Channel is Black owned. And again, he knows his demographics, and he knows people out there are financially crunched, and he's not going to go up on his prices like a lot of these apps and people that are greedy out there that are doing. So let's give it up to Brother Phil Scott. You can get it on Google Play, Apple Store, and on that app you can get the Emancipation Channel, videos from Vicky Dillard, Wongale, Brother Phil Scott, Demetra K, and other producers that contribute to the app. So again, original content there. Come January, there's going to be some great things I've heard that is going to be happening with that app. So if you're interested in doing that, download the African Diaspora News Channel app, available on Google Play, Apple Store. As you guys know, there is a big contingent going on in the Caribbean aircraft. The biggest aircraft carrier we got, the USS Gerald Ford, is running around there. Now, here's something you guys don't know, Dimitri. I'm just going to take it away real quick for those of you guys that aren't members of the African Diaspora News Channel and don't know what's going on in the diaspora. The island of Dominican Republic has allowed the U.S. military to use a few airports in their quest of dealing with the drug interdiction in regards to what is going on down there. Now, why did I bring that up? As we know, Dominicans are of African descent, and that's part of the African diaspora, right? So here's something that you need to know. So there will be a military presence in the Dominican Republic in regards to air interdiction in the Norco War, as Easy says there. Not only there, I think it was announced today or yesterday, the airspace around Venezuela has been locked down. So that means a lot of planes that are going into Venezuela will be diverted to other diaspora islands like Jamaica, like Aruba, like the Bahamas. So we got to pay attention to what's going on. How do I know all that stuff? The African Diaspora News Channel app. But let's get into this conversation. I think it's going to be great.
Hey, my eye, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. So, of course, you guys know, as I just said, we came off of the heels of Thanksgiving. And, of course, with that, there's Black Friday sales all over the place. You name it, everybody has a Black Friday sale. Okay, well, so, of course, you know that there was this call for a boycott, and the movement's goal was to leverage economic power to demand systemic change, protesting issues like corporate influence in politics, the rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI programs, and economic inequality. Organizers believe a significant reduction in consumer activity, even by a small percentage, can force corporations and policymakers to address their concerns. Now, it should be said, a lot of people said, oh, I didn't see many people out, and I didn't either. I was driving out and about and things like that. And I didn't see a lot of people in the store, but there's sure a lot of online shopping. In fact, it says online shoppers spent $11.8 billion on Black Friday in the U.S., with a 9.1% increase in online sales compared to 2024, according to Adobe Analytics rather. So we know that Cyber Monday is a thing. So that was Friday. So a lot of people have just said, you know what? I'm going to start shopping online. There's no need for me to really go to the store, right? It says, in fact, overall holiday sales are projected to surpass $1 trillion for the first time, despite a slower growth rate projection of 3.7% to 4.2%. Now, last year was at 4.3, so it's slower because it says that experts have said it might peak at 4.2, but even with that, it is said to reach $1 trillion. That remains to be seen, right? Okay. Now, some of the people that were being protested are people like Amazon, Target, Walmart, Starbucks. Somebody said they saw people, I guess, maybe going crazy over a Starbucks cup or whatever the case is. Of course, we know that the blackout is supposed to take place from Tuesday, November 25th to December 2nd, which is Tuesday, right? And you're not supposed to buy with major corporations. Stop online and in-store, buying. You're supposed to shop with smaller businesses, Black and brown. This is what their thing is saying. Refrain from non-essential activities such as traveling, dining at restaurants, and streaming services or digital purchases. Stop working if you're able to. So I don't know how many people didn't go to work. I would say naturally, a lot of people don't go to work on Thanksgiving and maybe the day after, depending on where you work, right? And let's see. It says, if able to show the impact of collective labor withdrawal, again, support small, local, Black and brown owned businesses. If spending is necessary. Small Business Saturday as it was yesterday. So if you were supposed to, spend money, that's what you were supposed to do. Okay. Now I want to show y'all this video because we've seen a whole host of people say, hey, we're not going to do it. We're going to black out. We're not going to spend. We're just not going to do it. And here is our beloved sister. I should say mother sister at this point, Jennifer Lewis.
Hey, is everybody on track? Because this Friday ain't black, because we ain't buying. We ain't buying yet. Well, I stand up and never quit. We ain't buying. From the 25th of November to the 5th of December. Remember, brothers back. We ain't buying shit. We ain't buying shit. We ain't buying. We ain't buying. We ain't buying. Shit. Shaka Khan. Hey.
Somebody come get your grandma, your auntie. Y'all need to kick this woman out of the sisterhood. I am talking about an embarrassment. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay. Whew. So you heard Miss Lewis. She said we ain't buying ish. Now, there's some people who didn't. I didn't buy anything. I never do. I don't participate in it, any of it at all. But so yes, somehow, somewhere, people are getting the money. Now, a lot of people are taking advantage of the buy now, pay later things like your Klarnas and things like that. Or they're using credit cards, to get the stuff. And a lot of people are saying, hey, this stuff is on sale. I can't maybe afford it right now, but I'm going to get it anyway, right? Because that's what these corporations do. They bump the prices up and then they drop them down and say, oh, you're getting a sale type thing. So people just get out there. Now, a lot of times people cannot refrain from spending because of psychological reasons. Of course, we talk about this a lot. The Century of the Self, Edward L. Bernays, along with his uncle, Sigmund Freud, they figured out how to turn, especially Americans, into consumers to where we buy things that we want more so than what we need. Of course, there's an emotional aspect to it. People shop out of stress or, to help cope. Like, oh, I gosh, I just need a new pair of red bottoms to help me through the day or whatever it is, right? And of course, a lot of times people think, well, I got credit cards. Well, it's money, but it ain't your money. You know what I mean? And there's interest attached to that. Of course, with the sales going on, there's a fear of missing out. I better get it now because if I don't get it now, then I have to pay the non-sale price. So I'll just get it. Social pressures, especially if you have teenagers, because, well, mom, they got the new whatever it is. And so I need it too, whether it's the new phone or whatever it is. And then some people feel like, well, I got to, go out there and spend money because it's a part of my identity. It shapes me as to who I am. Like I got to be seen on the scene with a new purse or new shoes or whatever it is, right? So there's a whole host of reasons why people can't abstain. But of course, we know that with this administration that's in now, the Trump administration is doing a whole lot of things that people do not like, which is part of the boycott, right? Of course, they stated things like DEI, which we know that does not help Black people at all. It predominantly helps white women. So you've seen people out there like your Jamal Bryant. I guess he went to Washington along with Tamika Mallory, a couple other people that were out there, right? Of course, they targeted, no pun intended, that they would target because they did not honor their DEI stuff, and Target has lost a lot of money. But when I think about this boycott, and listen, like I said, I'm not new to this. I've been talking about boycotting for over 10 years, right? And I told y'all I've been inspired by that of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he said basically down with Santa, up with Jesus type thing, because if you're really a Christian or whatever it is, you don't even know nothing about Santa Claus, you're worshiping Jesus. And so let's stop giving these corporations our money. So like I said, I'm not new to this, but you would think, I thought, honestly, to be honest with you, Donovan, I thought this year people were going to say, no, we ain't doing it. We're not spending no money. We're not doing it. We're going to send a signal, because if you ask me, that's the easiest way to send a signal to the man, right? The corporations, that we're not giving you no money, but for whatever reason, people really just kind of felt like they were going to do it anyway. Now, of course, this boycott is not over. Tuesday is the last day, and it is said that Amazon is projected to make the most money that is made ever. Walmart is projected to make a lot of money. Of course, their numbers aren't out yet, but they will be. But yeah, it doesn't sound like the corporations hurt at all, especially the ones that they were targeting. So I want to have a conversation here, and we have this conversation a lot. What is it really going to take for people, or Donovan, maybe I can ask this. Are people really that bad off here in America to where we see that, and I say we, as a society, don't want to really stick it to the man? Like, are we just pretending? Is the pain temporary? Are we that frog in the pot? Like, what's going on here?
I am glad you asked that question. No, we are very, very comfortable. We are the frog in the pot. And it's very evident because remember, only a few weeks ago, they were talking about how they're going to be starved because their Section 8 is being cut off, and the food stamps is this, that, whatever. But yet, when I went to Winco, Demetra, the whole week just before Thanksgiving, and for those of you guys that don't know what Winco is, it's the place where the best chicken in the world is made, and Al Jackson could attest to that. But it's a grocery store, kind of like Publix or something like that, but in the California mode. And all I saw was people in there loading up their baskets we're California, so we're a super Democratic stronghold. On their EBTs, just going to town, slashing. And, now I'm looking at these people and I'm saying, these people keep talking about they're going to starve to death. The Republicans are doing this and they're evil and all this other stuff. And I want you guys to think about this. I live in a Democratic stronghold. So how are the Republicans starving anybody in California? Ask yourself that. How are they doing it? They can't. But see, people don't. All they do is they listen to the spin. So these people are just loading up whatever without a care in the world, and yet this is going to happen. You know what it is, Demetra? The bottom line is, like anybody of nature, nobody wants to pay for nothing. If they can get it for free, if they can get an Obama phone for free, people will do it. If they can get a tablet for free, people will do it. And that's just how it is. And what it is this socialist agenda. I don't care if you're a socialist or not. It doesn't matter to me. I've read the Communist Manifesto. It comes down to this. You could say anything is free all day long. The pee is free, according to some ladies. But those ladies that have sons, what's the first thing that you tell your sons? Ain't no such thing as pee is free. It's going to cost you something. Simple as that. So for all these socialists out here who keep saying, oh, this is free, that is free. Okay. You got to pay the trucker. The trucker's got to put gas in his vehicle. How are you going to pay for these things? There's nothing free. It sounds good. So if you're one of those people running around that think you should get this for free, you should get that for free. Oh, universal health care should be for free. Do you guys realize the countries that have universal health care? Do you know how much they pay in taxes to have universal health care? In some of those countries, in par of 50%. Nothing is free. So, right now, Demetra, I'm gonna be honest with you. That Jennifer Lewis thing just threw me for a loop. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for her. I'm embarrassed for her family because Jennifer Lewis is a known Hollywood thought. It's in her book. I'm not making that up. It's in her book. And y'all need to pull her sister card or do something because she's making y'all look bad, y'all. Sorry. I'm just sorry.
I thought it was cute. You didn't think it was cute? Of course, I have to bleep out the words, right? Because she was, hey, Mike, how you doing? Hope you're doing well this fine evening. I don't know, Jennifer, she might have been on the sauce. Maybe she made that Thanksgiving when she was, swigging around something brown liquor. She looks like a brown liquor girl, Corey, how you doing? So is she eating some of that green grass? I don't know, maybe, a green brownie per se, right? Buckhorse, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And Andre, thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. Shan, you say, hello, Mr. Beecher and Donovan. How are you doing today? Hope everything is going well with you. Cannot complain. It is cold here today. Y'all know it's rare that I would have a sweater on because I sweat a lot. But yes, it's like 40 something degrees here today. So, and I know yesterday last week was 80 something. Now it's 40. I don't know. Reniba, how you doing? Says shopping to the 2nd or the 5th is not going to have an impact. He says stopping rather on the 2nd or the 5th is not going to have an impact. The merchants are probably saying at least they will buy for the Christmas season. It's also said that there weren't really a lot of deals out there because of the tariffs and things like that. So a lot of the retailers really couldn't afford to just give you deep discounts. Now there were some, I guess, but not really because of the tariffs and things like that. I think it said that during the Biden administration, the tariffs were like 2.5%, give or take. Now on average under the Trump administration, just on average, it's about 17 to 18%. So of course that is always passed on to the consumer, right? Because the retailers or whatever it is, they gotta put that into what they spend, so they pass that on to us. So were there really sales? Not so much, but consumers didn't care. So yeah, you're right. They'll make that up. Easy says the trickery they use to get people hooked. Oh yeah, absolutely. Cannot resist the sale. My thing is, if I didn't need it, I don't care if it's on sale or not. It's not something I needed. Like I need a new pair of running shoes. I've been needing a new pair of running shoes for like 2 months now. So I'm like, if I go get some, it'll be some shoes, right? If they're on sale, like I don't want to spend full price on a pair of running shoes. But other than that,
do you know what's crazy, Demetra? The only thing that I'm looking for in sales is camping equipment, like tents and heaters and things that you're going to need when this thing, kicks off. You would think more people would be thinking about things like that. That's going to happen. Some of those people that might be facing eviction because you're too good to take this job and whatever. You need to go look at some of go to Big Five and some of these. What's that? Outdoorsman and Dickies and stuff. Yeah, and Dickies and stuff, and start looking at that 8-man, 12-man tent because you're facing eviction right now because you've lost your job and you refuse to go work at wherever you need to work at. Right now for the holidays, Demetra, look, there ain't no shame in my game, Demetra, and it is very humbling. I am working at Ace Hardware, and let me tell you, I'm making good money. It's an easy job, and I went and put my money where my mouth is. And I went and got those jobs that those illegals have unasked and have gone about their business. So if you're a person out here who lost your job recently, there are jobs out there. I mean, right now, I don't think it's a point where you have to be picky about what you can get. You better get what you can get and pay them bills that you need to pay.
Absolutely. That I'm not gonna, well, I just can't. Well, then don't ask me to loan you nothing, right? But good on you. Like you said, the jobs were there and you went and got it. And Donovan don't need no job, but he was like, every time I talk to him, which is not often now because he's working, he's like, I don't know how long I'm gonna do this. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this.
And don't get me wrong, you guys, it is a good job, but when you've been out of work for as long as I have, you just realize, I value my time more so than working for somebody else. I can't do what I want to do because I'm under somebody else's jurisdiction. But again, for me, the money that I'm making off of this, I'm giving to the veterans that are homeless and the people that need the help. It's nice to talk about stuff, but one thing about this show, and Demetra will tell you, and anybody that knows us will tell you, we put our money where our mouth is. You guys have seen me at city council. I'm not talking about, everybody need to go to, you never see me there. You've seen it. So again, it is a humbling job, but guess what? Hey, it's paying good money and it's down the street from my house. I'm not in traffic. I'm gonna do what I got to do for the next couple of months, and then I'm done.
I know that's right. Loan me $1. Herbert, he says, what is Trump doing? What is Trump doing to Black folks? I never get an answer to that when I ask. I was having this conversation with somebody last night. We had a long conversation, almost an hour. We were just talking about, this type of stuff. And I told him, I said, what has Trump done to Black Americans specifically? I said, don't give me that museum stuff and the books and this, that, and the other. I said, like, what? I said, I'm not saying it's not on his agenda, but what has he done? He says, well, I can't think of anything. I'm not saying he's not going to do anything, but I don't know, I think what he's done is woke Black people up, realize we don't have any allies, or whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans. And I think most of us know that, but more people are realizing that. Even as we speak, the Democrats, especially the Black ones, they're still crashing out for illegal immigrants there in California. And I guess on a, federal level or wherever it is, they're trying to get a database so that illegal immigrants could tell on ICE. And as I said the other day, where's the database for Black Americans to tell on anybody? But illegal immigrants are getting a database and a hotline to say, oh, they chased me down. And I know I was here 30 years without becoming legal, but they chased me down. And now, what I'm saying? It's like, well, where's our database? But these are mostly Black right? You had your Maxines, you had your Karen Basses, you had your Latifah, whatever her name is in the Bay Area, and Jasmine Crockett and some other ones, right? They're all standing up there talking about this database. But then people are mad at Trump, but you're not mad at the Black Democrats for doing that foolishness? I don't know. Let's see. JBWR, he says they could be lying about their numbers. And who is that? I'm sorry, I know we're so behind. Albie Chili says emotions are a hell of a drug. You ain't lying. Cynthia says no disrespect, but Amazon has a good sale. Damn. This saying Amazon has a good sale on Monday. 12 I think it $1,200 laptop for $429. You don't say. I'm just playing. I don't need nothing else. Let's see. Heather, he says, I will never feel sorry for Americans again. Americans still got it like that. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. But we just adjust as Americans. We adjust. Oh, it hurts. But it don't hurt that bad. I get used to it, right? So, like, I've always thought the easiest way to send a message to the man, the powers that be, the machine, is to not give it any money. But we won't do that, right? Because we need the latest, this, that, and the other. So, yeah. Arneva, he says Winco is one of my favorite stores because of the prices. I wish they had a Winco out here in Houston. Boy, you get lost up in Winco for real. Rex, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says I ain't bought ish, but the bare necessities over the last 6 months. I try and find support Black owned where I can find it. Yeah, absolutely. I just spend on necessities really. I'm like you. I just buy stuff I need, right? Sister Shirley said I had to buy myself a new tooth. I broke one tooth off, and it's going to cost me $5,500 to replace it. See, that's the stuff you need, right? Lauren, how you doing? Says more than 20 million American health insurance premiums are going to skyrocket in the coming months. It may be hard to trick them into believing that it's the Democrats' fault and not Trump's BBB or whatever it is. It's all their fault because they all agree, all of them agree to give money to everybody else outside of America but Americans. It's all of their faults. They all, and you know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like to me, there's Biden could have done something. I don't know if codifying things could have happened, but there's a lot of things that they really cared about Americans they could have done. They knew that Trump was never going to stop. I said, never going to stop trying to undo Obamacare and do this old Trump care, whatever that is. I don't know. Now he's talking about giving the money to the American people instead of the insurance companies. That'll never happen, right? Because the insurance companies will never allow them to do it. But it's all of their faults. All of them, because they're all beholden to, the health insurance companies, whatever it is, these lobbyists and things. So that's the game they play with us to make us think it's the Democrats or the Republicans' fault, but it's both their faults. But guess who ain't struggling for health insurance? Congressional members, Trump, or anybody else. They're not worried about the healthcare premiums going up. None of them, which is why they can, have shutdowns and, well, we'll see about it. We'll think about it. And that's why the Democrats, they tapped out or whatever. They didn't seem to care. They could have, held on, but they acquiesced.
Yes, explain to me 2 years of Biden having the House, the Senate, and the executive branch, and they didn't do nothing to codify Obamacare and make it stronger. Same thing with Obama when he got into office. 2 years of that, 2 years, unfeathered. He could have done anything he wanted to do. Didn't do it. I mean, see. Nobody wants to talk about that. Both of these parties are in cahoots. It's political theater.
Exactly. So we need to tell the whole story, right? Gold Crown Eye speaking. And Brother Sammy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sister Sunlight, how are you? And FM says that was more white powdered activity. You mean from Jennifer Lewis? That's what she was doing. Easy says, careful, D. Don't talk too much about cold. Your power may go out. Better not. I tell you what, I'll be up in the car. And speaking of which, my car is leaking again. So I have to wait. Tuesday's the next day. I can go take it to the body shop and have them fix it. But it's like I put a plastic bag on top of it. So ghetto. I don't drive it much, but yeah. So yeah. Sunlight says, I heard the boycott was a success. Not if they're breaking records at the store. You might not have seen people in the stores, but people shopping online. So they might say, girl, I didn't go nowhere. But you use this, your mouse.
Yeah, you would know a boycott like that would be successful if they start talking about closing stores. When they start talking about closing stores and laying off employees, that's when you know the boycott is successful.
Yeah, and then some of them are laying off employees. I think was it Tyson 1400 or something like that. That's a chicken spot or whatever the case is. That's food. So yeah, I mean there are layoffs, but a lot of it is due to AI. A lot of it is not even due to the consumer. It's due to these corporations trying to figure out a way to save money. Like Amazon laid off 14,000 people a couple of weeks ago rather. So that's an AI issue, right? But I don't know, how hard was it to just not even for one day say we're not going to go out there and shop at all one day? How hard was that? I didn't do it, but I never do it. Kimmy says they have had Black Friday Xmas out since July. That's funny. My daughter saying the same thing. By the time Black Friday actually comes, that's like the third round of Christmas products. Yeah. And so they have started Black Friday sales earlier, to get a jump on stuff or whatever. Morris Sam, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Christian, you says, ain't it, man? And let's see here. Yeah, average logical thinker, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Justin, what's going on with you? Says I'm still working. Alhamdulillah. And I'm still looking for a part-time job. Well, they say they're out there, but I don't know, it remains to be seen, right? Mike, how you doing? Long time no see. And Mike, thank you so much for reminding people there's ways to donate to the channel. Love and appreciate you for that. And Mike Lewis, she says, I don't care if the Holy Grail was on half off and they agreed to show me where in the world is Carmen Sandiego and Waldo were hiding for half off. I'm not spending my last dollar. Yeah, I said dollar on foolery. I'm with you. Shoot, I don't see the point. African Native says Black Friday means what Black men can afford. He says has the same meaning as Black Market, Black List versus White Christmas, White Collar, White Angels. Okay, well, I know it has an economic term to go into the black, which means that you're not in debt. And a lot of companies, they use Black Friday to come out of the red, which means that you're in debt or more so in debt than you're not. So they use that to get people out because people think, oh, I'm getting a sale, I'm getting a deal. So I'm going to get out there and spend some money. And the corporation's like, well, I mean, we really didn't lower the price. We just jacked it up temporarily. Marcella, how you doing? So this is affecting more white people than Black people. Tis true. Monet, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope that you are doing well. Tisha, how you doing? Says both parties benefited off Black Americans. Yep. Easy says word. How can you be here for 30 years and not get a citizenship? That's what I'm saying. But they got a database to tell on ICE. To tell on ICE that's doing something to them. Rex says, so you got a whole list going on here.
Yeah, I want to answer that last question. For those of you guys that don't live in a border state, you guys don't understand how this stuff works. Okay, when these people that live on a border state, I can understand why they don't get their citizenship, because what they do is they go back and forth across the border. So they go, visit their families and stuff like that, and they come here to work and they send the money back to the homeland. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to get you guys to understand, how it works. A lot of people here on the border, they're not interested in becoming American citizens. They just want to make the money and be able to go home on the weekends every 2 weeks or whatever. They got to go home to spend time over there. So that could be a plausible reason why they don't get their citizenship.
Okay, so Rex, I understand what you're doing now. You have a list. So you're saying this is what Trump is doing. He turned those cops loose. Did he do anything that the Democrats have not done? I mean, I'm just saying. I want to play. I didn't want to play devil's advocate. I just want to ask questions because we know that Obama, who was the first Black president, and he was the president of Black people, he actually gave the cops a blue alert, which let them know that they were in danger. But Black people didn't get anything to let us know that we was in danger. You say his courts are not allowing cases through that covers us. That's not new. And you're talking about his courts, you're talking about the Supreme Court. Well, the Supreme Court hears less than 10% of cases a year. So it's a numbers game. But even with that, what's new? And when we do get to court, there's rarely in our favor, right? And then you also say, 3, throwing Blacks out of government. Well, to that point, are white people also being thrown out of government? Are Hispanics, Latino, and Asians, are they also losing their jobs in government? I think the answer is yes, right? Because I know where you're going with that there's these 800,000 Black women have lost their jobs since the Trump administration. Well, how many Black men have lost their jobs, since Trump has been in office? See, they don't want to tell you that. And then you also say removing black from military. Well, how much say so did black people have in the military any damn way? You know what I mean? And I'm not even in the military, right? But how much say so did, and then with what's going on in the military, I think the black people are getting an inadvertent Hail Mary, because now we hear about these war crimes and all this other stuff that's going on with a Pete headset, you know, and all this other stuff. And we know that there's a black general. I don't know his name, but this month or next month, rather, he's supposed to be, hey, I'm stepping down because I ain't going to be in trouble if some trouble is coming down with all this stuff that's going on, especially with Venezuela and bombing those boats and stuff. So I'm just trying to just ask questions, Rex. Donovan?
Oh no, Rex is Hutch. That's Hutch.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
I just reading the names. Yeah. Let's see. My aunt says Democrats and Republicans, rather, neither one care about American people. Exactly. They don't. They care about the money, right? Constance says, aside from diminishing our history, Trump is allowing synthetic foods, allowing prices to go up, which really affects black people in particular. But you know what? Black people, we're going to see almost $2 trillion pretty soon in our community. We give 97% of that away. So at what point do we start having a conversation of let's build our own, let's grow our own food and this, that, and the other, and let's stop depending on what they are doing with the food supply and all of that. See, that's why, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan alluded to, you know, Trump is going to make the Black American, Black community great again, because we ain't going to have no choice but to wake up. See, we've been resting on the Democrats giving us that carrot, right? Making us think it's the illusion that everything is okay, but it's never been okay. So now we need to start having a conversation of, you know, well, since we always are most affected, why don't we pool our money, as Dr. Claude Anderson has been telling us to do with Powernomics, right? He's been telling us to do a whole lot of things, and for whatever reason, we just won't do it. So when are we going to start having that conversation, right? More Sam says, Trump is doing nothing but waking. There you go. I should have read your comment. And waking up Black Americans. And Cynthia, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you. Said Demetri and Donovan, I just landed a good paying cleaning job working for a contractor. You know, them folks cannot pass the background check. Thank you, God. And Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. Okay. Well, yeah, you know, shoot, every little bit helps, right? So yeah, there's a lot of jobs out there that are, like Donovan said, are unasked. That's what his words. But thank you, love and appreciate you for that. Let's see who else. I'm gonna skip down because I know I'm so behind. JJ, it says all these Black economic boycotts are colossal failures and need better strategies and tactics. Yeah, I mean, you got to really attach a good why to it, not because Target is being mean to us because of DEI, because Target is really doing that to white women. Black people are like number 5, 6, 7, 8 or something like that on the list of beneficiaries of DEI. So how does that a net benefit to us? So we're not really attached to that. But who was it that said that? I want to be clear. Constance said all the things that will affect Black people. You would think that we would boycott for those things, but we won't do it. King Shaw says, what state are you in? They have discount prices that can fix your chip. Oh, so you're talking to Sister Shirley. Tina, how you doing? He says it wasn't a fail. They can't say that we shut them down, but you didn't shut them down. And they made more money. In fact, they're on pace to make $1 trillion this year. So the sales actually are up on Black Friday. So you didn't shut them down. Like per the mission, I'm not being negative. I'm just like, numbers are what numbers are. I don't know. Maybe when the numbers come out, like for real, maybe there'll be a difference. But you didn't see people outside because they were online. And that's where a lot of people are doing their shopping now, is online. So it didn't even go down. If it went, the numbers went down this year from last year, then yeah, you could say we did something, but they actually went up. So I'm saying, like, I think we don't do ourselves any favors when we're not realistic. It didn't work. Like, per all this romping and stomping that people are doing online, and we're not going to buy, shop, it really should have been demonstrative as to how much they were shut down, but it wasn't. Amazon, they said when they have their numbers, or Walmart's numbers to come out, but they said that they're on track to make record sales. Record sales. Amazon was on the hit list.
Well, can I add this? When you let 22 million people in a 4-year period, and a lot of them take jobs, and they're doing what they're doing and they're making money. How many of you guys heard about those Hispanics up in Detroit that made $76 million in the last 4 years, and they had 250 employees. Out of the 250 employees, 6 of them were authorized to work in the United States. But the people that own the company made $76 million. So think about this. This is another reason why the illegals have to go. When you let 22 million people into a country or into an economic system, what happens to the economy? The demand is higher. When the demand is higher, what does that mean for the corporations and the mom and pop stores? You raise your prices because everything becomes scarce. Basic economics, you guys. But if you get those people out of here, there's less of a demand, which means what? The prices come down. And by the way, ladies, that also goes for WAP too. Economics works the same way for WAP. But anyway, the point of the matter is 22 million of these people are here. And of course, Feliz Navidad is a big thing in the culture of the Latinos. And so, of course, they're on pace to make $1 trillion, and Negroes ain't got no money, because you have another class of people that was put here. Think about this. I know we have more than what the census tells us, but 22 million illegal people allowed in the United States, that is half of what the census says Black people are. Of course, these corporations are going to make $1 trillion. Of course they are. Basic economics.
Yeah, good breakdown. And Cynthia says, I noticed that the Walmart stores and Kroger stores here in Michigan are now hiring more Black men. Yeah, I'm actually seeing a lot of more Black men in retail as well, just kind of out and about, things like that. So yeah, very interesting. That's good. We need our brothers working so our sisters can stay home and spend their money. Yes. And I don't know about no WAP going down, ladies. Don't you drop the WAP prices.
Wait. Our girl Mo says, Kimmy, the price of WAP has gone up. Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Come on. Okay. The hell? You're not going to go to Rolls Royce and say, oh, well, since everything else is down, you need to drop the price of those Rolls Royce. Rolls Royces and WAP, they go together real bad, right? They the same. So, pay like your way, homie. Get you some baby oil. Hey, Angela. How you doing? Nyla, what's going on with you? Brother Damon says Venezuela is the follow-up. When Ukraine is over with, they have to justify spending trillions on war. Yeah, and it's like Trump, he got it bad for Venezuela. Of course, we can speculate why, the resources over there, trying to overthrow the president and get people over there mad. And Maduro is like, huh? What are we doing? But
and you guys got to remember, it isn't also to justify $1 trillion for war. The war is irrelevant. The arms manufacturers are the ones that get all this money. So even if they fail, our intel continually fails, what do? We give them more money. When Boeing has a weapon that doesn't work, what do? We give them more money. This is where the money's going. It's not going into a war per se. It's going into research and development.
Absolutely. Kimmy says, I know y'all left them Campbell cans on the shelf. Can anything really? Says they're all third machine manufactured. Yeah, Campbell Soup, they going through it because they're CEO.
3D machine.
3D machine. But yeah, Campbell Soup is going through it because their CEO got fired. I heard talking about that soup is poor people's food. And I guess the meat they use ain't really meat and stuff. And he was on a hot mic per se. And they was like, yeah, we don't really feel like that. It's like, well, everybody know Campbell Soup ain't nothing but a bunch of salty water. I guess it's good for you if you're sick.
Don't talk about my glory greens now. Come on, Thanksgiving just happened. Don't talk about my glory greens.
Well, hopefully you had some of Kamala's greens and not glory greens.
No. I had some of my Aunt Winsome's greens and they were delicious.
Okay.
Delicious.
Rex, you say, do y'all have Zelle? I have Zelle. It's my phone number. I don't know if you have my phone number. If you got my phone number, you got my phone number, but I ain't gonna give it out here. There's a way to get my phone number. Yeah, that I do have it, but we have other ways to donate as well. Donovan, I don't know if you have Zelle. So yeah, but we have ways on the bottom here if you want to do that. But thank you for the sentiment, nevertheless. Kelly says people have a shopping addiction. Oh yes. And Anita, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. James, what's going on? She says, good evening, Sister D. I said it many times. In my opinion, we FBAs have no business serving in the military of any branch, defending a country who hates our skin color. You know, I don't be getting into that conversation because Donovan served in the military, as with a lot of people in here. And
how many Black people do you think right now that are doing well for themselves are doing that without having served in the military? And I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying a good portion of people that you guys know that are doing very, very well within our community are what? VA rated. They are living good. They are getting money hand over fist. A lot of them got their starter homes through the VA. How the hell from the hood? I'm not saying it's impossible. How many people do you know that comes from the hood? How long does it take them to own their first house? I'm not saying the military is for everybody. That ain't what I'm saying. But Demetra, being a military supporter and how can you say it? She's a big military supporter because her baby is a military baby. How did this girl went to one of the most expensive colleges in the United States? How was that partially paid for? Or maybe it was all paid for by the military. I mean, so I'm not saying for everybody.
Daddy.
Who was in the military. Exactly. Who was in the military. What I'm saying is, I know there's some people that
got a stipend every month.
Exactly. So she was doing what the white kids were doing. Being a full-time student.
With a stipend every month.
So what I'm saying is, I know there are some people that I can't join the white man, whatever the deal is. I kind of get frustrated with that saying because you're in a white society. We don't control nothing in this society. So how can you say you can't do nothing with a white man, but you're moving among a white man's rules in society? It doesn't make sense to me, but maybe it's just me. But all I'm saying is the military is not for everybody. But I will say this from people who came from chattel slavery. A lot of us get our start right there in the military. A lot of us, our education is paid for through the military, ain't got no debt. By the way, how many of you guys know if you have a loved one and they've served in the military and they get 100% disability rating, their student loans are forgiven. They apply and it is forgiven if they have 100% rating. That is a fact.
Well, rub it in, why don't you? Says, Demetra, I've never seen so many people shopping lately, but all these layoffs is wild, creating debt, keeping up with the Joneses, or people lying about not having money. I think it's the keeping up with the Joneses, is going into debt. Like they said, they have this buy now, pay later thing, the Klarna and all those things. So yeah, people that just gotta have it instead of saying, nah, cash is king, I don't need it. I try to consider myself a minimalist, where I don't need a closet full of clothes and things like that. I only need one pair of black pants, or maybe two, or whatever, right? So I don't have a closet that's busting at the seams with anything because it's waste is what it is. So yeah, Gabriel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says they smart AF. FM says facts illegals made money. They were out shopping. Yeah, a lot of them made money from this economy and whatever. A student of Yawishi, how you doing? Says, I think white corporations will tell you what even numbers they want to make you think. Numbers haven't gone down. People are so gullible thinking white people are giving you legit numbers. I mean, if they're giving us legit numbers or not, but I mean, people spend on it's like we act like this. I mean, I get it. I'm not saying that I'm glad it's a fail. I wish that it would have succeeded. Like I said, I've been talking about boycotts for a long time. So like I said, I'm not new to this. I wish that it would. It's the easiest way because I'm not going to be on the streets romping and stomping and, we shallow. I'm not going to be doing none of that. I'd rather not give these people my money. But I don't know why it's so hard to do. Like, how many purses do you need? How many bottles of perfume do you need? How many whatever toys do your child need? Like, that's the conversations we need to be having. But see, I guess people are like, well, there's never enough of more. It's easy to say too, I wasn't out there. You wasn't out there, but was you online shopping? You know? And I saw somebody said that the corporations are going to extend Black Friday. Duh. Especially people been talking about this blackout for months. So yeah, if I'm in the boardroom, like, listen, I know these American consumers ain't got the wherewithal of a fly. They'll probably do it one day, and we might feel the crunch, but then so we'll extend it because people is psychologically saying, well, I did it from the 25th to the 2nd, so I'm gonna get out there on the 3rd, which is what most people are gonna do. So it's smart. It's smart business to extend it because they know the nature of the consumer here in America. I gotta have it. But you don't need it. I can't tell you what you need. Brother David says, can I get a military discount? No, ain't no military discount on WAP. In fact, the price has gone up. Okay? It's gone up. Kimmy, you about to get in trouble. It says, broke man don't deserve no. Or whatever Cardi said. Eamon, how you doing? Says the real soldiers are moving on. Cancel Christmas. I've been canceled Christmas. Ain't nobody. So that's one thing about me. Demetri don't need to be running around with no fads with people telling us what to do. I done already did that. Brother Sam said, Donovan, if we don't start growing our own food and stop rain, he says, MG, this death dealing food WAP will be a dot. Some of it already is. Normally says, another Vietnam, or what followed the loss in Vietnam, a Great Depression that was barely dodged. All right, let's see. Just skip down. Tinta says Commander-in-Chief Trump isn't playing no games with them other countries. Yeah, but some of that stuff he doing may just be a tiny bit illegal. African Native says Venezuela is not Black American fight. It's a snow bunny versus the salsa bunny war. So you're basically saying it's not a fight. I'm not saying it is, but you know, you bombing boats that are fishermen and people fishing, you know, and things like that. You don't even know who you're bombing, and it's like they're calling it literal like snuff videos, right? Like they're playing video games type thing. It's like, I don't know if you're supposed to be doing that. That's right, Brother Damon. Hutchie say, I've been screaming about boycotting for months, not just a few days and every now and then. I mean, that's what I'm saying, but why do we got to keep doing it? The corporations don't like nobody, right? Especially Black Americans or whatever. So why do we have to keep having this conversation? To me, it would just be second nature. I'm not going to go out there and spend money with these people. I don't make it a habit of spending money with people who don't like me. You know, I know us as Black Americans, we don't really have businesses that's hot and popping like that. So we got to go spend money with some people. But the extra spending, like on the bags and the clothes and all this other stuff with people that don't look like us, I don't do that kind of stuff. I'm not finna get, I don't care. If I have the money, I'm not going to spend no type of money on no designer purses with corporations that ain't giving that back to the Black community. Why? So I can see, you can see me with the LV on my purse or the double G's or whatever it is on my clothes. I don't give a damn. First of all, I'm not going to be advertising for those companies because you ain't paying me to do that. See, I don't love stuff more than I love money, first of all. And I'm not like, I don't know, maybe I'm just built a little bit differently, but I wish I would give them any kind of money like that. Ain't did nothing for me. You know, I ain't never seen Louis Vuitton in the neighborhood giving back to nothing. You know, a turkey, a fish fry, no nothing. But you'll see people with the Louis Vuitton at the fish fry or a turkey giveaway. So I don't know, make it make sense. Dorothy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I was, your name is kind of all, and it's just, I don't know why mine is doing that on this end. But anyway, how you doing? Says, I heard no one was shopping on Black Friday. Some are reporting this. Who is nobody? They in record sales of almost $12 billion on Black. So who is nobody? I don't know. Maybe they're lying. They could be lying, but who is nobody? Because I didn't see a lot of people out either. But again, you can buy with the click of your phone, you can buy something. It'd be here right now. I could go on Amazon right now and order something for a couple extra bucks that will get it to me tonight. You know, so who is this nobody? You know, but again, I don't know. We'll know for sure when they release their numbers. I hope I'm wrong. Albie Chill says, my cousin was a Major General Frederick H. Lee, U.S. Army. All right now. Hey, salute. Andre says, I agree with Donovan. Use the military like others use it. Yeah, like I said, I don't have an opinion on it. I didn't go. I thought about it, but my daddy wasn't having it. It was in the story.
But you used it, damn it.
I did. My baby daddy is in Marines. Okay, and Daryl says malls were jam-packed in Chicagoland area. So I'm not saying somebody was shopping. I didn't go nowhere near no mall, and I don't plan to. You know what I mean? I don't plan to do it because I know it's probably mayhem. I go to the mall for certain things like lotion and things like that, certain things that I need for like my skincare where I can get it at the mall. But other than that, I don't really spend a lot of time in the mall. And damn sure I ain't gonna spend no time there next month. Dorothy said, I don't celebrate any of these ungodly holidays, so Black Friday isn't something I normally participate in. If I don't need it, I won't buy it. And I should preface it too by, yes, I know there's a lot of, now I'm getting hot. See, that's what happens when you get the run in your mouth. I know there's a lot of Black-owned companies with skincare products and things like that, but I also take the extra step to make sure it's not toxic. And a lot of, and I don't want to dime anybody out. You just do your own research. But a lot of our Black-owned products, they have a lot of toxic, chemicals and things in it. So there's certain things that I won't use. I don't care if it's Black-owned or not. But I try my best, Let's see. The average article nigga says, I don't have a lot of clothes either. Never been a shoe or clothes gal. I like shoes and clothes, but I'm going to get them on a deep discount or whatever it is. But I'm not going to be out there just breaking the bank. On no clothes. I don't love no designer like that, because they not giving me a discount to do it. Let's see, Lawrence, how you doing? Says WAP definitely went down in the 80s. I was a kid in the 80s. I don't know nothing about that. Matt, how you doing? Says I went to Kohl's online. People weren't boycotting the grocery stores and gas stations, so I got an ice cream maker. Damn. If you needed an ice cream maker, you needed an ice cream maker. Easy says you're right about they know we got to have it. Case in point, auto financing is up to 7 or 10 years for a car loan. It's so funny because my daughter and I were crunching some numbers just for fun on new cars and things. They said the average payment is about $800 for a new car. Was the interest rate is about 7%. So it's like, no. So yeah, they're trying to stretch it out, right? So you can afford these cars. But it's like, damn, I get a 10-year car loan. Trump is talking about 15-year car loan. How much money am I going to spend on maintenance? Because they cars they making nowadays they not lasting like that, right? So you've been and bought 3 cars in the time that you paid the 1 car off. It doesn't make sense. Constance says we can begin growing herbs in our window sills. It's a start. You're absolutely right. Zip, zip, zoom, zoom. How you doing? Says what's good, Demetria. They only stopped the shutdown to get that holiday loot. Shutdown may return. Yeah, and I did a video on that. I actually got the inspiration from student minister Ishmael Muhammad. When he talked about redistributing the pain, I talked about it as well. There was a message from Martin Luther King Jr. And he said it perfectly. He being student minister Ishmael Muhammad, he said they didn't stop the shutdown because they cared. They stopped it because Christmas was around the corner, And so yeah, there was a motive for them to do that. It had nothing to do with the American people and their suffering. Joseph, how you doing? So somebody lying, too many videos showing empty stores. It is showing empty online. And it's like somebody made a good point. Weather was bad. And here on Friday, it was a Friday, Saturday, one of those days, it poured cats, dogs. It was like raining. So I was, people aren't going to be out there like that. And like I said, and there's like 4,000 flights that are canceled due to the weather. So it's bad weather. So I don't know. Like I said, I hope it is successful. I hope that it was, but it remains to be seen. I was about to go think you say Pete says is out here breaking the law. Yeah, so that part. Don't need how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Brother Simon says, I guess if you're going to join the military, it's like accepting an athlete scholarship. Use them before they use you. Just continue to seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and things will come. Absolutely. Cynthia say, Demetria, you are completely correct. We must still stay focused on our prize, tangibles, and reparation. Yep. Gary, how you doing? Says I was in Chicago Friday. None of these stores were empty. So I'm saying, right? Like, who was this we that wasn't in these stores? Now, we might not have been, but people were in the stores and online. Ross, how you doing? Says, sorry, I'm late. I rewind, listen later. Okay, well, thank you. No worries, Brother Sammy. Don't you be out there texting and driving. I'm telling you. Let's see. Let me skip down. Vanessa, how you doing? Says I knew these worshipers on mistreatment wouldn't do a boycott on Black People Day. He says it's not even a sale. The price is raised, gradually over 90 days, then lowered as actual price. See, you know. That's what they do, right? And somebody says, I totally agree, Demetria. These influencers make me sick with that. And I don't even know what that is, but pretending like they got it type thing. What we? I know I'm so belabored. I'm in these comments. And Easy says materialism and symbolism is our community is off the chain. So you're talking about like the designer stuff, yeah. Kimmy said I'm funny. I'm really just out of my mind, really most of the time. Easy says malls crowded from all that WAP money. Hey, you know what? That's what I'm saying, ladies. They got these men got it. Charge them. Make them pay like they weigh. I mean, if they want to buy it, I don't know. You damn sure don't give it to them for free. Okay, ain't no sympathy WAP out there. I'm just saying. You know, they say I ought to write a book. Maybe one day. Zoom says Scrooge McDuck don't give a fork about anyone. Come on now. True Warrior, how you doing? Says absolutely less about self than it is about the fact that Americans are spiritually and intellectually defeated consumer zombies. There you go. We have been conditioned to be that way.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree. And I'm going to disagree because of this. The white man is still rich. Hispanics are getting richer. Asians are the richest. The only people that have been brainwashed to be consumers in this country is chattel slavery Black people. If we do not buy and do certain things, this economy will collapse. That's why they keep us on the bottom, because we have been conditioned to be consumers. They took us out of our mindset of being creators and made us consumers. And the baby boomers were complicit in that. I'm not blaming the baby boomers, but what I'm saying is they did not continue to teach us what we needed to know to fend for ourselves. They said, hey, let's take our money, instead of keeping it in our community, let's go down to Mr. Jameson's shop and shop downtown. And that took away from our knowledge of doing for ourselves. We are the only group in this country that is conditioned to be consumers. No other group is conditioned to be consumers more so than Black people. How can I prove that? Name me one Black corporation off the top of your head. As long as we've been in this country, you should be able to name one major Black corporation in this country. And I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm, like I said, off the top of your head, I find it hard pressed for you to name one off the top of your head. We're the only group that is conditioned to be consumers.
Yeah, logical thinking. Thank you so much for that. You said someone told me I couldn't teach them nothing about money management because I don't drive the car or own the house they want. Everyone that saves money didn't flaunt it online, 100% keeping it. Speaking the truth. Yeah, I mean, those are idiots, right? And they're probably broke. And it's like, you go listen to the people you need to listen to, go do the voodoo you do so well. But as far as we're the only ones conditioned to be consumers, that's not true. We're not the only ones that are conditioned to be consumers. Of course, as I always talk about, Edward L. Bernays and his uncle, Sigmund Freud, they conditioned everybody. And you got to remember back in the day when they was doing that, Black people didn't have money like that. We were still kind of building Black Wall Streets and things like that, and we had our own thing. So they were conditioning Americans in general to say, hey, you don't focus on just the stuff you need. Buy stuff you want, because for the corporations, that's where the money is and was. Now, in regards to Black Americans being conditioned to be that way, so we also got to add in context, because we know that nobody else has the systems of oppression that Black Americans have endured and still are enduring in the institutions, right? There's been these whole movements to keep Black Americans from being producers and consumers. And again, case in point, we used to be producers because we had to be. But again, we know that a lot of things came in, destroyed a lot of our towns. And then we had the false idea of civil rights that said, hey, we love you now, Black people, but they didn't love us. They loved our money. So that was by design, the dilapidation of the Black community. So we're no more consumeristic than anybody else. It's just that the things that we have gone through have stopped us from, continuing to produce. But we are the descendants of pyramid builders. So let's keep it a buck. So I think we need to add in some context. Everybody spends money, not just Black Americans. Now, do we spend the most of it? Yes, probably, because we don't have the grocery stores and stuff like you said. If we had a place to put the money like we used to, then that wouldn't be it wouldn't be a conversation as much as it is now. But we just got to put a little bit of context in that, I think. Timothy, how you doing? Thank you so much. It says, hello, tonight's menu. Oh, baked pomegranate chicken with red sauce, Spanish rice, asparagus. The dessert is chocolate chestnut cognac cake with hazelnut. And you making all of that? Where you live? I want to see something. But thank you. That sounds amazing. It really does. Nyla, how you doing? Once again, he says, I thought sales were down according to the NBC News report. Salesforce stated, despite the U.S. citizens spending more, they purchased fewer items at checkout, and sales were down 2% from last year. Our report stated that billions in profit can contribute to the increase in prices. I presume this report is accurate. Shaking my head. Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of reports out there, but the reports that I've seen consistently is that sales are actually up. And so there was actually no, like when we're talking about sales, like, hey, you can come get a bargain. Yeah, it wasn't really any of that because of the tariffs and things like that. But it just depends on who you ask. But I don't know. I don't have a reason to lie. I know in theory, people want to believe that this was a bang up success. It wasn't. It was not. People do not feel the pain like they said they did. They don't hate corporations that much. You know what I mean? And to me, the proof is that it wasn't a success, because why are we debating as to whether it was a success or not? Either it was or it wasn't. There's no gray area, I'm thinking, and maybe it could be.
Well, you also got to think about it this way too. For those of us that got our common sense and have been participating in this great experiment called capitalism here in the United States, how many of you guys got 401ks? I have a 401k. What does your 401k demand? It demands that they make money. So that some of the very people that are protesting Target and Walmart and stuff probably have stocks in those very corporations. This is why I think a lot of people, especially a lot of those people that got fired and stuff like that, most of them worked and probably were in 401k, businesses or whatever, that's part of their benefits package. And I can almost guarantee you they have Walmart or a Target type situation. And they want to make profit. That's how a lot of people have depended on those corporations making money. Because if those corporations fail and they go out of business, that's a hit to your 401k, and that's money that you might lose. It could be up to $10,000, even if not more, depending on how much you invested in that particular corporation. So again, you got to be careful what you protest and how you protest it. I'm heavily into the arms military manufacturing. What a surprise. The military budget went up to $1 trillion and we're not technically at war. Wow, my 401k is doing great.
Magnetter, how you doing? Thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Since I ain't gonna front, I was looking online to see if I could get a good deal on PS5. Glad to see you both. See, I don't know. It just depends on who you believe. Like I said, I'm rooting for it to be successful. Like I said, I'm not new to this. I've been talking about Boycott for a very long time.
Yeah, I think I saw a PS5 in one of the magazines that came to the house. The ads for like $4.95. It was on sale, something like that. I don't know. I don't play those games, but yeah, $4.95.
That makes both of us. Eminem, how you doing? Says we would boycott businesses that provide a way for Americans to put food on the table that is counterproductive. Black people are a part of this economy. Army, and I said the same thing, especially in regards to the Target boycott. Like I said, especially out here in Houston, you see nothing but Black people working at Target. So I'm like, why would you want to put them out of a job? You know what I mean? So it's like you put the Black people who are heavily in a service industry, right, out of a job to prove a point for what? Because the Target or the DEI initiatives are being mean to white women, because that's who benefited from it the most. But see, you're speaking too much sense. People don't care about that. It's what they say, you throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't care. I want to show a point and this, that, and the other. So then are you going to hire these Black people once they lose their jobs? Because you were boycotting or whatever, like it was Tabitha Brown. She was talking about, oh my gosh, but my products are in there. It's like, nah, homie, you got to put some skin in the game too. You ain't special. Everybody, if it's going to cost somebody something, you got to be one of them people that it's cost. So, but to your point, how far are we willing to take this? Are we going to take the money that we put into the corporations and we're going to build our own things? Because that's where you recycle it and make it a net positive. Okay. It's not that we necessarily hate the corporations. It's that we love ourselves. And so we're going to funnel that money back to our own communities. And then we can absorb that workforce that may be hurt from the boycotts when they fire these people. But see, we're not having those conversations. It's I'm mad and I want to hurt Target and I don't care if people get laid off. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I was never on board with the Target boycott, because I'm not going to help white women get more of what they already got. If it was helping black people, great, but it's not. Roots Tracker, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says milk is being recalled due to some sort of contamination. I don't drink or use it. Yeah, not a milk drinker either. No reparation, no vote. How you doing? Says, what if I wasn't in the store on White Friday? Ooh. Tina says, we didn't expect the MAGA crowds to boycott. The MAGA crowd is broke too. No, don't forget what they tell you. They broke too. They said 1 out of 5 MAGA or Republicans, they're going to be harmed by the premiums going up too, as far as the medical stuff. So don't be confused by the MAGA. They might have wanted to shop, but they didn't have the money either.
Yeah, and those premiums for the Obamacare, it's going to hit them folks really hard. See, but the good thing is, what do I say on this program all the time, Demetra? When you're at the bottom, nothing much changes for us. We're in survival mode constantly. A lot of those folks, like the Great Depression, what happens when a rich person loses money? They don't want to be on the earth that much longer. To them, to be middle class, it blows their mind. But we are always in survival mode. That's why we know how to do the navy beans. We know how to do the red beans and rice. We do what we got to do to survive. Do you guys realize a lot of these other groups do not know how to do that? So this stuff is going to hit them when they don't have the health care and they got to take care of grandma. Now grandma's got to move in with them. They're going to feel the pain that we've been feeling for over 300 years.
Sideshow, how you doing? Says, not from what I'm seeing as a retail worker, the boycott worked beautifully. Keep coping. I mean, it may have, I don't know. But again, you got to keep in mind, if you work in the store, you probably wouldn't see what was going on online. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But I hope it did work. Honestly, I do. Alfonso, how you doing? Says, really, that was silent generation civil rights leadership. I mean, but as I always say, what's our excuse? We can't keep on blaming the civil rights or the baby boomers or silent. We can't keep blaming them. Hell, most of the silent generation ain't even here no more.
Right. Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that, because yes, we can continue to blame the baby boomers, because didn't Nancy Pelosi just now announce her retirement from running? Isn't Jim Clyburn still in power? Isn't Donald Trump a baby boomer? The baby boomers are still in control. So as long as they are guiding the ship, I'm throwing my blame to the people who are at the top.
Well, how did they get there?
What you mean? The big hat gang said, it's all about us.
No,
I didn't vote for him.
How did they get there?
What you mean?
Did they just say, I'm going in the office? How'd they get there?
No, like your girl Maxine, I'm going to get us reparations. And they played the game. People voted for him. Instead of voting for policy, because that's how ignorant we are about things. We think because somebody looks like us, they are for us. Now everybody is waking up and saying, you know what? Just because you look like us doesn't mean you are for us. And so now we're starting to wake up and change the way we think about things as we find out that all skin folk ain't kin folk. And by the way, the word on the street is you went down to that African braiding shop and trying to get.
Hey, look, Demetra K still got her edges, boo-boo. I still got my edges, so I didn't go down to no African shop. Thank you very much. Shit. Black America, how you doing? So black people that are married are doing great. That's true. The other races are doing good because they are married more. Are you married, Black America? I know you got like 3 of them you taking care of. You looking for a 4th? Let's see. Todd. No. Yeah, I was going to get says my friend was married to an Asian and she said Asians only shop name brands. She started studying their habits and was astounded. Yeah, they are. They love a name brand. I don't care how much it is. Roost Tracker, he says, Amos talks about how we are the top consumer. I don't agree with everything he says in his book, but he's correct there. Yes, but we're not the only one. That's what we're we're splitting hairs. Is the only one. Brother Todd says Donovan, Worldwide Trade Technology founder David L. Stewart founded in 1990 Industry Technology Solutions and Supply Chain Services, size more than $17 billion in annual revenue. Notes WWT is one of the only largest Black-owned companies in the United States, and one of the biggest privately held companies overall. So he's listing a corporation owned by Black people. African Native says, I love your constructive differences, Demetra and Donovan. Yeah, I have to put him in check sometimes, but he's okay. See, he froze up because he's about to say some nice, nasty. Lolo, how you doing? Said they destroyed everything we did. Yep, AI Smart Cities, how you doing? Says non-Black Americans push the agenda that FBA are poor. I mean, I don't know. They might, but are we? Are we poor? We're not, you know. So yeah, so this says, yes, that's right, Donovan, and it's so very sad. No major Black corporations are producing on our behalf. Well, Brother Todd, he's on Facebook. Y'all can't see him. But yeah, Easy says, Malcolm said that we've been had and hoodwinked. Yep. Let's see who else. Magnetic says, African Diaspora News Channel. Yes, we do have an app. It's not a corporation yet. But speak that into existence. Jilly, how you doing? Says, we had our places and they got destroyed. Yep. Absolutely. Easy says, damn, he got yak in the cake. Who got yak in the cake? Oh, you talking about Timothy. I was like, because I be thinking about some yak in the cake. I was thinking about some other cakes. I've been up early, so it's very early. Yeah, Jilly, we are rising up again. Brother Damon says, I'll take that cake with some eggnog. You know, I like eggnog, but it's so fattening. I body dysmorphia drinking it. Says lactated eggnog for you. Tidbits, how you doing? Says we have no one. Says manufacturing plants Asians do because whites wanted to move them there. Manufacturing plants perpetuate rather slavery. Reasons why whites thought of opening them, just a thought. Okay, third grade gamer says online sales increased. It did. That's what we're talking about, online sales. So, you know, and the aim of the boycott was to not do that as well. So yeah. Troy says, I hear what you're saying, Donovan. However, all Americans have been the targets of aggressive consumerism. It's the case that we didn't have the proper defense of foreign country protecting us. Okay. Going down to comments. Easy says, well, when America allows your personal information to be hacked, so countries that produce can study your spending habits and bombard you with constant in your face consumerism. Yeah, it's all over the place. All over the place. If you study consumerism, it'll make you sick. First class villain. How you doing? Says online shopping on Thanksgiving alone exceeded 6.8 billion. So it's almost 12 billion now. If we add in Black Friday. So yeah. Dorothy says we have to make better decisions with our money. We can't continue being wasteful. Yep. Come on with the numbers. The first class villain says $44.7 million in buy now, pay later purchases, which a lot of people have done. The Klarna, right? I pay one payment now, and then, you know, however many payments after that. Yeah, so that's a lot of money, Damon. Let's see here. Cynthia says, because of gas prices coming down, I was able to save up for Cyber Monday. My cart is full, damn, and ready. My son definitely deserves his beautiful blessings. Brother Rodney, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says, blessings, my powerful, beautiful sister. See you working out. Keep up the great work. Yes, I got to work out because I refuse to grow old ungracefully, right? I'm going to grow older, but I want to grow old. So thank you. Thought Lane, how you doing? Says, I bought a $700 laptop for $400 Black Friday. See, to me, yeah. If you can find something you need at a deep discount, just be silly not to do it. Like I said, I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all see me out there. I'm looking for me some gym shoes. I like New Balances, right? And I want to, they have New Balances on sale. And I want to get me some because I like to wear good shoes to work out. And otherwise, jack your feet and your knees up and all that. So I'm going to be buying me some New Balances on sale. I'm just putting it out there, okay, in case you see me out there. Lady Brown Bird, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Donovan, you want to jump on in? Zip, zoom. It says black consumers are the addicts. Merchandise is the drug stores are the trap houses. Well, damn. And corporations are the pusher. Roddy says at the Bayou Classic, New Orleans, back in Atlanta tomorrow. So that's where you'll be tomorrow. Monet, how you doing? Says I just hooked up my wood stove to keep down the heating costs for the winter, and the wood is behind my house, so we have wood. Yeah, that's why I put this sweater on. I ain't there to turn the heat on yet. It is cold, but I ain't there yet. Mr. Mitch, how you doing? Says 32 degrees and lower is cold. Ooh. It is pretty cold. It's cold here in Houston. The first class villain says, yes, the boycotts failed. Those CEOs laughed at that. I mean, like I said, I don't wish that it would have failed, but let's not live in la la land, because when we live in la la land, we don't keep it real and we don't get to where we need to go, right? If we really want to boycott and show these corporations, Trump and all them, send them a message and just really do it, right? Let's not, well, we moved an inch, it dropped a point percent, so it was successful. It's like, was it? I don't know. The goal was for most people not to do it. If you're pissed off with what's going on with the Trump administration or the DEI and all this other stuff, then you weren't out there. But people are out there, you know. And that don't count the people who went out there early to get the stuff, you know. Like I said, I went to the mall, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, the other day to get some stuff for my face and stuff. I went early, though. I was not going to be out there in the mall with all them people. I don't like crowds like that, but I went a couple days early because I needed some stuff, you know. Dorothy says, I have zero confidence in anyone in the government. Zero. Yeah, and you're not supposed to, right? Lance, how you doing? Says, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Yeah, that's true. Gary says, when talking about these health insurance premiums, we need to be aware if the actual money is given to the actual person's account instead of the middleman, which is the insurance companies instead. Yeah, but how would you know, right? Unless they just give you a check. Easy, crazy. Yeah, I was like to think it says stop going to African braiders a year ago. Yeah. Hey, Mad Dog. They ain't finna be snatching. There's no shade to them. They heavy handed right there. Like, golly, and you ain't leave no hair out. God, you got this. You ain't supposed to get that.
See, what y'all don't realize is them folks don't like y'all like that. They really don't. And then did you hear, I guess they caught her on telephone or something like that, and she was saying that she don't need y'all. She don't need y'all money, and she don't like Black Americans and all this other stuff like that. I mean, the delineation movement, Brother Phil talks about this. You've talked about it in the past. I mean, it's a real thing. These people do not like us. And when I say that is this: Demetri and I have been to Africa. And it's called tribalism. It doesn't matter if you're a white man or if you're a Black man or an Asian man. If you are not from that tribe, you are viewed as an outsider. They will not like you. That is why in Africa, they do not get along with each other. I want you guys to picture this. The United States of Africa. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing if that ever came into existence? The OAU in the 1960s used to talk about that all the time, and that's what they tried to build. But of course, the CIA, the Belgians, and all the white folks that we love to vote for and think they're going to take care of us, they broke all that stuff up. But it's called tribalism. So even though they look like us, they have this, you know, the skin like us, whatever, you are viewed as an outsider because you're not a member of that tribe. Now, Demetri and I, we are of the Zulu tribe. So we were adopted and did our little thing on this.
Your name is Manolo.
Manolo.
Yes.
Manolo.
Manolo. Yes. And mine's is Googleetu. Okay, that's what the name they gave us, right? Let's see. I thought about trying Brooks. I've been to New Balances forever. So, you know, I can entertain it.
Why don't you try some Stacey Adams? It works for your dad.
Be running out there on the
It works for your dad. Your dad will do it.
I ain't trying to get no shin splints and no Stacey Adams, okay? Alex, peace to you as well. You say, I don't understand why the majority of people don't boycott when Biden, Obama, W. Bush, or Clinton are in Oval Office. Well, there were boycotts. You know, when Trump was in there, Obama was in there. Yeah, so there were calls for boycotts. Then people just didn't want to do it, you know. Mad Dog said I bought a new set of snow tires from Bell on Black Friday. He says, got a damn good deal too. Magdalena says, might buy some Vans if they're on sale. I ain't no judgment here. Brother Todd says, Demetri, DSW has a 30% off sale on New Balance running sneakers, but it ends today. Oh man, I got a coupon from New Balance, so I'm gonna try to use those. I was like, I need some bad because I was running the other day. I was like, oh, my knees. I could tell.
Wait a minute. It isn't the shoes that was the problem. I told you about using that lift to lift them cheeks up as you run so it doesn't hit the back of your heel. But you don't want to listen to a brother.
I'm trying to run so I can lift the cheeks up, okay? I don't need no serendipity. You know, you get older, you get the serendipity. It just wham, right? It's a lot. So yeah, I'm trying to run so I don't have that. Okay. Hey George, how you doing? Hope you're doing well.
And real quick, before we get out of here, I wanted to touch on this subject. I haven't had a chance to talk with you. If you guys look back in Demetra's history on her YouTube page, you will find, I think about 8 years ago, we did a story on a young lady named Kanika Jenkins. And this is when we first started out. And her name was Kanika Jenkins. She was the girl from Chicago that unfortunately got deleted in a freezer. And recently her mother has come back out in regards to getting answers of what has happened and all this stuff. I remember we were speculating, and Demetra and I really kind of broke a lot of stuff down. We weren't right in everything that we said, but some of the stuff we were kind of right on it, right? And it is alleged that this woman took a settlement, hush money and whatever's going on. Demetra K, I don't know if you've done a video on it yet, or have you mentioned anything, but I think since we were one of the first people kind of that was reporting on that at the time, what is your thoughts on her mother coming out now wanting justice, which I think it would be ridiculous to try to even get justice when 8 years ago, everybody was behind you to find out what happened to your daughter. And yet, is the money gone? And not that I care about the money, but what is it that's making her come out now to want to reopen this case?
Well, they also said that there was no foul play or any of that other stuff too. So I don't understand. I saw it, but I didn't get into it that she's come back out. So they said it was no foul play. I understand what she means by justice. Like you said, if she got a settlement, I don't know. You know, it's just, I don't know if something nefarious happened to Kanika, but sad all the way around. But yeah, I don't know what her motivation is. Rascast, how you doing? Said it was 82 degrees today in Palm Beach. Sounds like a wonderful time. And somebody said that Roland and Jamal Brown was out there leading the boycott. Roland wouldn't even boycott grandma cookies. I could tell he didn't. So what is he boycotting this time? See, all that is showmanship, you know. We out here boycotting. It's like, I bet you won't boycott Hometown Buffet or the Golden Corral. I bet you won't, you know. Satra, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, you're right, Miss K. We have to put Black American Freedman story correctly. Slavery, convict, leasing, Jim Crow, sharecropping, redlining, interstate plow through our hood. Yeah, so there's a lot of things going on with that. Let's see. The guy from Texas. He says, Gaddafi was trying to create a United States of Africa. Sure was. And we know what happened with that, right? African Native says, Demetra, my advice to elevate your every shows. I think you meant views. You says hot topics, most watch, donation every week, new members, worst show of the week here, aware to improve, etc. So you're saying those are advice that you're giving. Okay. Thought Lane says they don't even like each other within their own country, i.e. Somalia. Yeah, they taking Somalia to task. Rob Nice, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. MWP, how you doing? It says South. Yeah, those are South African names they gave it to us. Hi Cube, how you doing? It says no one is interested in influential in black boycotts. It says black boycotts have been attempted for decades, but they all have failed. Well, they worked before. We just bought into the false idea of civil rights, right? We're comfortable now. We can live with white. Well, yes, white people eat with white people, a whole lot of other things, and so we felt like we've made it, but we're no better off than we were back then. We were better off then economically then than we are now. So yeah. Brother Simon says, question, what do you all feel is the best way to heal the divide with our people from the diaspora that have been trained to view us wrongly as they do, so we may unite as a common force?
My answer is they need to start practicing Pan-Africanism like we practice it. We're the only group in the diaspora that actually practices Pan-Africanism. If you go to their country, like I said, you're looked at as an outsider. But when they come here, we welcome them. Then they separate themselves and form little Haiti, form little Dominica. They form little Nigeria. Wherever they're going to form, they don't want to unite with us. They have a colonial mindset. And I'm not trying to be mean to them, but what they need to do, the issue isn't us. The issue is they need to start practicing Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, that they definitely, but I think especially us as Black Americans, and we've been told this, and I know, Brother Sammy, I know I'm preaching to the choir. Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that we got to focus on what we got going on here, right? We love our brothers and sisters on the continent, but we got some things that we got to overcome and to do and build and all that other stuff. So, but I think that we should stop the negativity on both sides, right? That I don't get involved in none of that. I'm just going to say that I never have, and I never will. I don't care who's mad and don't like it. I don't get involved in any of the name calling, none of that other stuff. I think there's a lot of correction that needs to go on, but I like I said, I always just choose to vibrate higher, whatever it is. But I think, first of all, we got to love ourselves. When we love ourselves, then we, eventually we love other people. But I think we should love ourselves first. And I think, too, a lot of the negative things that it's not just the people on the continent, it's people from everywhere. They think badly, if you will, of Black Americans, because that's what the media has told them. It's the narrative. I mean, even if you go on X right now, Elon Musk is pretty much saying Black people are the worst thing since sliced bread, and he's a child of apartheid, right? And his daddy running around there being accused of messing with kids and things like that. And it's like, anybody listening to you, Elon, okay? You and your daddy got issues, right? Elon got kids that don't even mess with him. He's the richest man in the world, and he got kids who won't even utter his name. So we're not listening to you, but yeah. So we just gotta, we just gotta stop participating in the foolishness. Not saying that it's all foolishness, but the low-hanging fruit stuff, a part of it, let's not participate in that. Lady Brown Murray says, Swollen Rolling, I'm sick of him and Amanda Seals. Yeah, Amanda Seals, I don't follow her. I see her every once in a while. Brother Todd says the identification of remains and the confirmation of authorities have reopened the case as a homicide. Oh, so okay, that's the missing part of it. So let me put that up there. He says the identification of the remains and a confirmation by the authorities have reopened the case as a homicide investigation that likely pressured or allowed the mother to come forward to express her shock, grief, and to cooperate or show willingness to cooperate with investigators. There you go. So they reopened it as a homicide. Now, I will say this. When Donovan and I thought we were detectives and sleuth and things like that, we thought that was the case, that somebody did that to her. But then, of course, you know how the authorities say.
Remember the pictures from the freezer? Yeah. She had bruises on her and stuff. We're like, wait a minute.
But the video that, if I can remember, because a while back, the footage that they showed didn't show anybody else in there. They kind of just showed her going in there, and then she never came out type thing. So, yeah.
And guess who was the spokesman when all of this broke out? For you Tiffany Hinyard fans out there, Andrew Holmes. That's where he became prominent to the national diaspora.
Yeah. I remember him. Yeah, now all the stuff is coming back. Yeah, everybody named Mama was talking about the case because it's like, how she get like, and then they brought her friends into question, like. They said they did a whole bunch of stuff to her. It was just a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I remember everybody was like sleuthing and doing the videos and reenacting it and trying to do all that. You guys, if you guys want to see some of our earlier videos, go to Demetra's YouTube page and scroll down to 8 years. It was about 8 years ago, but I'm very sure she still has it because it's on my feed as well. But go to Demetra's YouTube page and you will see us actually talking and not breaking the story, but going along with the story and kind of breaking it down to what we think is going on.
Yeah. Give it. How you doing? It says newsflash: only far left lunatics give a ish about DEI and Target ditching it. It says, of course, their pathetic boycott failed miserably. Yeah, and I'm not happy that it did. I wish it didn't. I wish it is successful. Like I said, I'm down for a boycott. I'm just not going to be out there in them streets. You know what I mean? Not me. African Native says his money is the apartheid money, blood money. Yes. And Corey, how you doing? Says Elon Musk is disgusting. Yeah, he's on Twitter, trying to stoke it, division and all that, firing at Black people, if you will. But we're not paying him no mind. It's like, if you don't sit your funny looking self down somewhere, because y'all did all that over in South Africa. Now you're trying to get it hot and popping over here. It's like, what you saying ain't nothing new to us. We ain't new to this. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anita says, and when we are over the top, over there, stop looking at us like we're an ATM. Mad Dog says Andrew Holmes covered up a lot of stuff about that case. So yeah, I remember him now. He was kind of like the family spokesman, or wasn't he? Wasn't something like that?
Yeah, he wasn't the spokesman, but he acted like the family spokesman and was working for the hotels to shut the whole thing down. He wanted to get it out of the news and all that other stuff. And he ended up becoming a council member in the town of Dalton, Illinois, with Tiffany Hinyard.
Yeah, so Well, if they've opened it up, Brother Todd, as an investigation, a homicide, then yeah, obviously, right? The mom, but the mom is probably like, I kind of always felt like my daughter just didn't just go in there, because the idea, from what I understand, is that she went in there and passed out and froze to death or something, or she couldn't get the door open or something like that, or it was unplugged. And then somehow it got plugged back up because it was in the part of the kitchen that was being renovated or something. So that's some stuff is coming back to me now. But
Yeah, and that was Bill Murray was part of that. And remember, they had the Selena Gomez tie-in for the
kidneys,
harvesting and stuff. You guys go back and see that video. We broke that stuff down. I mean, those were the early days, man.
Yeah, I mean, I always felt like something nefarious happened to her. Just, I don't know. It just seems weird, Then I think the friends didn't tell her mom until later. It was a lot going on.
Yeah. There was a lot of mischievous stuff going on where, they show up without the girl and she's asking, where's, Kanika? And
yeah. I remember this. So yeah, the mama, she deserves to get to the truth of what happened to her daughter, Latrell, how you doing? Says, I loved it. I didn't buy nothing. I didn't either. Like I said, I'm down for a boycott. But I'm not boycotting necessarily because I hate the corporation. I'm boycotting because I don't want to give them what we should be giving our own people. Again, if you had to spend money, how many people thought about spending it with Black businesses? Black businesses always need money. How many people thought about doing that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I saw a few video channels where the mom and pop stores made a lot of money versus the corporation stores.
And that's the way it should be. It should be that way. That's who should be making the money. When these big box stores get into the neighborhood, they go out of business because people are, I'm going over to Walmart. I'm a one-stop shop, right? Whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, and I can tell you this, working at Ace Hardware, we have stuff that the big box stores don't have. I mean, if a hardware store is a gold mine. And like I said, a lot of you guys think Best Buy or not Best Buy, I'm sorry, Lowe's and Home Depot is a hardware store. That is not a hardware store. That is a mass volume store. But certain things, I mean, in Ace being there, I'm seeing things that I haven't seen since like when I was a little kid, that you can get little specialty nicks, certain bolts, certain things. It's totally different. So again, mom and pop stores, they're very much needed because once they're gone, you're going to lose a lot of stuff that could probably, if you have an older house, let me put it like this. If you guys have an older house, Lowe's and Home Depot is basically useless to you other than getting nails and basic stuff. Everything in my house, I had to special order new windows, new doors, because my house is on an older code. Mm-hmm. Lowe's and Home Depot, they're made for these newer homes that fall apart in 5 years. Cheap materials, cheap everything. So that's kind of the difference in the two. If you have an older home, you need an Ace or a mom and pop hardware store to keep up your home. You really do.
Well, that's some pretty nifty advice, but you're right. I had an older home when I had my home, and the stuff at Home Depot. Yeah, Easy says, y'all deep bluffing. She bought, no, I didn't 3 pair of sneakers at Academy. I saw her there. You ain't see me there yet, right? I don't need 3. I just need 1 good pair. I go through tennis shoes about every 6 months because, I work out. I ain't one of them people that's cute in the sneakers. I do have some sneakers I could wear that I wouldn't work out in, but no, I work out in mine. Mine's be wore out, because that's what you're supposed to do in them. They tennis shoes because you're supposed to really be working out. I was gonna say something to get myself in trouble, but I'm gonna be quiet. But yeah, you're supposed to work out in tennis shoes.
I just want to say, you guys be on the lookout for Kamala as her Indian family celebrates Kwanzaa, and she's probably going to be back on the thing, and the glory greens, and they celebrate the black stuff as she. Anyway, go ahead.
Kawani says to act globally, then start participating geographically, regions, then your state to country to community, which keep the capital in your neighborhood to circulate 30 times the rate, nation building within. Yeah, that's the idea, right? To keep it circulating 30 days rather. But yeah, they say 6 hours in our community. We really have to change that. Black Plumber, how you doing? Says I find old stuff at Ace. Lady Brown Prairie says I live in Mexico for real. It says they don't have Thanksgiving, but they honor Black Friday. Corporation don't care about history or traditions. Yeah, Sister Emma, she says, I think in Canada, they have Black Friday because she says they don't want Canadians coming over the border to shop in America at the Black Friday sales. So they have one. So yeah. Juggernaut, how you doing? Says, why did this boycott turn into a fight for crumbs on the floor? I don't know. I saw they was fighting in them stores somewhere. I heard about the cups. I didn't know nothing about the Starbucks cups. I thought Starbucks wasn't fashionable anymore, but I guess it is. The guy from Texas says Lowe's is a home improvement store. Brother Samuel says, I went to a Black-owned herb shop. However, I did buy it says a rod to break back into fishing. And I, as I did as a child, thinking about setting up for FOI Day out to help buying the brotherhood closer. That would be nice. Yes, indeed. That'd be really nice. Kelly says she's getting ready to make her bathtub greens. Y'all better stop. Ooh, y'all better leave Kamala alone. George, it says we've been advertised and marketed out of our minds from shopping out of, it says out of our own stores. Yep, that is true. White man's ice is cold. A true warrior says, you mean these new homes built by these hardworking cough immigrants? Yeah, I've been seeing those videos online. They crazy. African Native says, why haven't duplicated shoes when the adult feet don't grow any longer? Well, because I wear my shoes out, right? Running, walking, or whatever it is. So you're not supposed to keep shoes for too long because the cushion and all the bottom stuff wear out, and then you start feeling in your ankles and your knees and things. So that's how I know my shoes. I need new ones when my knees start to ache a little bit because it don't have the support that it usually. I use my shoes.
Look, you guys got to understand. When Demetra wears her shoes out, it's usually the heel. The heel of her shoe wears out because of the junk in her trunk. Okay, so all that weight is back there. She's off that back foot. You guys got to understand. It's rough. It's rough for her.
Yeah, so I go through shoes quite often. Okay, but shoot, I be in the gym the other day. I normally work out with 10s because I'm not trying to be raw, right. I'm just trying to tone, but some big old dude was hogging the 10s. I'm like, dude, come on. I mean, he was big. I'm like, what you doing with the 10s, man? Can a lady get the 10s? So I was like, man, screw it. So I got the 15s. I was like, okay, you can do it. I was like, oh, you know what? I can do it. So now I'm working out with 15s now. So yeah. It's a good idea. We need to start co-op businesses and stay open late 24 hours a day, always open, because Walmart and other stores are no longer 34 hours. I think even 24 hours. We can grow our food, see clothes, make paper goods. See, I don't like the 24-hour day thing. I think people should be able to go home and rest. Like if you ain't got it before 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, then you come back tomorrow type thing, because stores used to close. 24 hours was unheard of, unless you're like a diner or something. A Denny's, but the grocery stores and stuff that's open 24 hours, Walmart, that was almost unheard of when I was a kid. You just missed it if you didn't get it when it closed. I could get some insoles, but I just don't feel comfortable putting insole. I just need some new shoes. You know what I mean? You suppose that, as if you run and you walk and stuff, you're supposed to make sure that's one thing I don't spare an expense on. I do find sales now. It's my tennis shoes, okay? I'm not gonna put no cheap tennis shoes on because I know what it does. It ricochets up when you work out in cheap tennis shoes. So, New Balances, I get them on sale. I go to the outlet. That's probably $30-$40 or whatever, because they're at the outlet. I don't have to have the newest model as long as it works. I'm good. And I can wear, this is a tip for the ladies. If your foot is small enough, you can get a size 7 in boys. And the children's shoes are cheaper. So I typically do that. Just putting it out there. You like to save money. Yeah. I don't know nothing about those Starbucks cups, but I'm sure now that y'all talk about it, I'm sure I'll see them. I don't go to Starbucks at all. Roost Tracker said I just finished working out. Listen to y'all. Woohoo! Get it in. You got to get it in. There is no excuse. When you get older, see, people tell me I'm annoying, but that's okay. You get older, there's no excuse. Get up off your ass, okay? Get off your ass and get on your feet. Go walking, whether it's 20 minutes, it's 30 minutes, whatever. And when you get older, you got to lift weights. It's like you have to do it. I tell this to so many people. They get, I'm good. No, you're not. Get up. Work out. I don't always like working out. I got to get up very early sometimes to go work. I don't like doing that. But once I get in there, I'm like, I'm glad I did, right? So, yeah, Donovan, he's a working man now. But he works out. He finds time to work out.
So at 6 o'clock, the thing, Ace closes. I go straight from Ace to LA Fitness, do my hour, go home, walk Benny. I'm in the bed by 9 o'clock. You better believe it.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to work it in to your day. And that guy from Texas says, I'm an experienced hiker. I used to hike when I was in California. Ain't no mountains where I'm at, but I hike it. I did it sometimes twice a day. If you think I'm lying, ask Donovan. I used to hike sometimes twice a day. So I love the hike. I really do. So anyway, we better get out of here. I see my guy here is, I don't know if the game is still on or he's thinking about his big piece of chicken or whatever it is he's doing. But we will be back here tomorrow. I keep forgetting tomorrow's December 1st. This year went by so fast, Donovan. And it's like you just blinked and this year was over with, which also tells us that time is fleeting. We don't have time. That's one thing you could get a lot of things back. You could get money. You can even get people back if that's what you desire. Okay. But you can never, well, not dead people, unless you Ed Gein or somebody. I don't know. But time. You cannot get time back. Use it wisely. Like I said, especially us that we're getting older, not old. You honestly, if you think about Donovan, you can age backwards. You can. Now I know I'm saying like gravity don't do its thing, okay? But there's things you can stave that off. Donovan hears all the time. He doesn't look his age. I hear that sometimes. Okay. But so what I'm saying is aging backwards is a state of mind. Aging backwards is what you eat, what you drink, what you think, getting some rest, right? It's all of that. You're not supposed to age to the point of where it's like most of us, I don't know if I'll go to my high school reunion or whatever, but I'm sure when I go, I'm going to be like, who are you? You know what I mean? Like that should be the goal. It'd be 40 years for me, and 2029 to be 40 years. Okay, since I've been out of high school, the last thing I'm gonna do is go to that mug and people say, "What's your name?" I want people to say, "Oh, you look the same." You damn right, right?
Well, look at these young people. They look older than the age they actually are. Now that's one situation I don't want to be in, where you look older and you're only like, you're 30, but you look 42, These kids are so stressed out. It's a damn shame. But for me, everybody always asks, they go, Donovan, why don't you ever grow your beard or not like that? Because when I grow my beard in, you look more distinguished. You look like an older man. So when I shave, I'm told I just look younger when I just shave. So I try to keep it that way. Not that I'm trying to be young. It's just, if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. And the only reason I think I got it is because I work out and I try to eat healthy. Fellas, Demetrius says it all the time, eat a salad. You guys aren't eating enough vegetables and greens. I'm telling you, and you can tell, trust me, you can tell. As a matter of fact, at the Ace Hardware that I work with, I am the second oldest person there, but every one of them think that I'm younger. They were like, oh, we thought you were. I said, no, I'm 55 years old. And they're like, man, you don't look 55. I said, okay, well,
and Donovan don't act 55. Like when I mean, because there's people who are 55 who just slow moving and like Donovan moves around like a young, spry individual, and you're supposed to be that way. You know what I'm saying? You see, I would go. I won't say I'm going to hell. I don't even know if it exists, but boy, I'm gonna tell you one thing. The other day we was at Walmart, and there was this sister. She had a few LBs on her. She was LB challenged. I would say that. This sister was walking so, she's probably not even 30. Maybe, I don't know, she was, give or take. She's walking so slow. She was about to start walking backwards. I kid you not, she was. And I was like, you came to work? And that's how you, what do you do all day? And I'm not trying to shame or shade her, but when I see that, I'm like, you're young. What is it going to be like for you in 10, 15, 20 years? And you like that now? So when I see that, it makes me sad. And like you said, Donovan, especially the younger generation, because a lot of this younger generation, they not like us. You know what I mean? They don't move around. They lazy. You talk about working out. It's just the mindset. And I often hear a lot of times, and my dad, he's 81, but he was like real busy, but he's older now, whatever. But he even tells me, sit down. You always moving around. But see, I got that honest, right? Growing up, having parents who moved around a lot and was busy. I was an athlete. I was like, we always stayed busy, so that kind of stayed with me. Like, I don't take naps. Maybe I should, but I don't, because I don't get tired until like it's time to go to bed, So it's not the way you're not supposed to grow old.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch back to those people that are to the military thing. Ladies, you guys have all these degrees. I get it. But one of the biggest problems that we have in our community is that debt ratio. Student loans is one of those debts, like child support, you can't discharge in bankruptcy court. It's an albatross across your neck. So I'm just going to say this again. Military ain't for everybody. It doesn't mean you have to do active duty. Demetri will tell you, you ain't got to do active duty. But if you're there getting that lawyer and you have over $500,000 in debt, why not join the Air National Guard and to get in there to get your debts discharged through the VA or whatever the deal is? Because that thing is going to be with you forever unless you get it discharged. So, hey, I'm not telling you to join the military. I'm just saying, think. What is the best way to get rid of a $500,000 debt, education debt? Get into the military, do your little 4 years of reserve time, do your VA paperwork, get to 100, discharge. How long could that take? It might take 5 years. I'll take 5 years over a lifetime. And that's what these other groups are doing. The Mexicans are doing it. The Asians are definitely doing it. This is how they are circumventing the system. I'm not telling you to join the military, but I'm telling you, nobody wants to pair up with somebody that has over $500,000 in debt. Nobody wants to do that. So just something to think about.
Absolutely. Biz, how you doing? Says on D that did the different active and did. I did the different active duty. I sure did. Okay. Like I said, I like that.
Yes, and we are so appreciative of Demetria and her gang of hooligans.
Where are my bars and stripes? Where are my bars and stripes at? Mine should be all the way across here. Just pow, pow, just all up and down, just bam. Get the little things off the tassels. I should be stunting on all y'all. Yeah, that's another thing too. I'm like, why you young ladies don't like going to the bases no more? A good time was had. Yes, it was. A good time was had. We wasn't nasty now. Okay, when I say a good time, we had a good time.
You got to remember, not all military people get stationed to a place and they have a car. So you need these ladies that come and entertain and help us, have a good time.
Donovan, don't get me. You're going to make me shed a tear. Don't be some good times, boy. We used to load up my little 1979 Mustang. Boy, we was packed up in that thing, boy. We here. Hey, fellas. Hello, how you doing? Hey, Bakari, how you doing? Thank you.
And guess what? And just in case of an emergency, you had a baby daddy with benefits.
I did, huh? Sure did. Yes, boy, I tell you. What's the highest rank up in the military?
Well, general is your highest, but enlisted, it's like your E9. Your E9. Yeah.
General Demetra. Yes, I did. Anyway, I love and appreciate y'all. Let us get on out of here before we get in trouble. We'll be back here tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time. So in the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your evening. We love and appreciate you. Peace.